Hello everybody, Randall Trollson here. Of course I am the Game Whore. And as you can see I've bathed and changed like I said I would. It isn't every day that I have to do development on the game or a game engine. So today I'm going to show you like some of the mundane Monday details that you have to do in order to run a game company. And so to start with, one of those things is to actually build the title section for this vlog. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. Alright? Now, if you have any comments or questions about the tools that I use or how I go about doing things, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll try to address that. Okay, so let's get going. Yay! Okay. So the first thing I did was I started in 3D Studio and I have like over 3,000 fonts. And one of those fonts happens to be this pixelated game font that you see here. Now this actually just, I had to go through like, I don't know, probably 20 or 30 of these types of fonts. But this one happens to have the exact proportion to where every single square is the perfect height and width of, they're perfectly square. Okay, and so after I created a shape based off of that font, what I did after that, as you can see the little blue square right there. Okay, then I actually put the constraints on to where it would make a perfect square, and did some for locking points. And I turned on my locks and I made a perfect square. And I made a pixel that is the exact height of one of these little squares that would make up this word. After that, I created a three-dimensional pixel. And how I did that was, well, it's basically two chamfered boxes and one is stuffed inside of the other one like a turducken, if you've ever eaten one of those. And you can see here, it's a lot. So that's a close-up of the pixel that I'll be using. And then I used the array tool and I basically just created an entire array of all of the pixels that would make up the grid that makes up all of the word. I made, with the array tool, an entire grid of all the pixels that the words encompass. And then I went through and I deleted the ones that are not over top of the word. It's a lot easier just to, massively go through and do all of them than it is to try to, make the pixels match the word. So I just made an entire field of pixels and then I go back in and then I can just delete the ones that I want and make the exact same shape that I want out of all those pixels. After all those pixels are created, then I went back in and I animated them. And I did that by moving the words completely out of the camera view and then bringing them in to their location one pixel at a time. Well, more like 20 pixels at a time, but they're sort of randomized. So you see? So you see up in the top viewport, you can see how it's building the actual word, and then you can see the words that the pixels are transferring from, that they're coming from. Okay? Then you just turn on motion blur, and then when it's completely done and the animation's done, then I added the lighting, that glare that goes across and says Game Whore, or what? No, actually it's or whatever the fuck it is. Some sound. It makes a sound. Okay? And I had to stack 3 of those lights on top of each other because the reflectivity of the material, and I didn't want to jack with the material more and more and more and more. So sometimes, if I'm in a hurry and things aren't the light was not bright enough, I just clone 3 of those lights instead of trying to make the material have the perfect reflective properties for what I wanted at this camera angle. It's just quicker to do it this way than to do it probably the proper way. So, whatever works. And then I just set the aspect ratio down to where it's just a little slit instead of a cone or a rectangular light, so it's just this rectangular slit. And then I just move it from left to right. Then when I'm done with that, I rendered it all out, and a frame at a time. So there's 30 frames for every second of animation that goes by. And then so it will render out a TIFF image for every single frame. Or actually, it'll render 30 TIFF images for every single frame. Then you take all those as an image sequence, and you can toss them into Adobe Premiere Pro, and you can build up your sequence, and that will do your animation for you. It will make it into a movie. Once the movie was created, I needed to have sound effects for it. So I went out and got some 8-bit video game sound effects that are royalty free from like the NES days and Galaga and whatnot. And my voice saying, Game Whore! And then I did that too. And once you get the image sequence converted into an AVI video, then you take the AVI video, and I chucked it into Mixcraft. Yes, I know, I could use Adobe Audition or whatever, but frankly, I fucking hate that tool. Adobe Audition is like, I don't know, it's like every time I use it, I feel like I'm getting a root canal through my anus. It's such a pain in the ass to use, especially with that bridge tool to go back and forth between Premiere. So, fuck that. I just recorded it out as an AVI, and then I took the AVI and I stuck it in Mixcraft. See? And it's a lot easier because you can visually see what you're doing, and you can tweak each and every channel, and you can do the sound effects. So the green sound effects are like the pixels, and the yellow or teal or green or whatever, those are pixels, and then the light yellow orange, those are pixels too. And then the red one at the bottom is where the light goes by, and it goes like or whatever. And then the orange one is the Game Whore, so you can see the two little blobs. There's one for game and the other one for whore. See? See how that works? Then after I did that, then I mixed that down and made it into a WAV file so that I can shove it back into Premiere, and you can see the green bar, and there's the audio for it. And I just stacked that right on the bottom, and I put my immature content thing on top, and there we go. And then it recorded it out as an AVI. So, that's how I made the title screen. So, it isn't every day that you have to work on, like, video games every day. Some days you have to work on stupid shit like this. Because, well, you can't have a vlog without a title. And so I had to make a title. And that's also what's up on the channel page for the banner, but I'm going to replace that probably someday when I get some time with some hand-drawn stuff, or, I don't know, something. Maybe pictures of cats, or pictures of cats, I don't know, babysitting hamsters, or I don't know. Anyhow, thank you. That's how I did everything. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it somewhat informed you. This is not a tutorial, of course, on like how to use 3D Studio, Mixcraft, or Premiere Pro. Otherwise, it would be days long. But that kind of shows you what I had to do in order just to make the title section of my vlogs. So, as always, make sure to subscribe, and if you have any comments or questions, feel free to ask me, and I'll try to answer them in the next video. Okay, later, bye!